Kia ora e te whānau. This is Achievement Objective 1.1. Greet, farewell, and thank people and respond to greetings and acknowledgements. The two phrases we're going to be focusing are kia ora and tēnā koe, kōrua, koutou. They both mean hello, but there are differences. Firstly, kia ora. Kia ora is an informal greeting. So you can say it casually to your friends, to your students, to your colleagues who are close to you, but you wouldn't use it in a formal setting. Kia ora means hello, but can also mean thanks. So when you want to say thanks to someone, just say, oh, kia ora e hoa. Thanks, friend. To break down kia ora, kia means be, ora means well or healthy. So, the literal translation of kia ora would be well or be healthy. What a cool way to greet someone, eh? Alright, then we have tēnā koe. So this is the formal greeting. This column here, they all mean you. But in Te Reo Māori, you specify how many people you're talking to. So the first example, tēnā koe, koe specifically talks about one of you. Tēnā kōrua, you may have guessed it from the word rua, is used when you're talking to exactly two people. Lastly, tēnā koutou. You might have heard of this quite a lot. That means there are three or more of you. Ka pai? So in Te Reo Māori, you need to be specific about how many people you are talking to, whether that is 1, 2, or 3 and more people. So there are 3 ways of addressing. Now, in my class, I heard some students say use. What are yous up to? And I thought, oh, that is grammatically incorrect. Stop saying that. But what I failed to understand is that in Te Reo Māori, there are concept of pluralism in you. So hence why when they translate the concept to English, this S comes along. So I hope you understand that and don't be too harsh on the students. And say that you can't use yous in a formal writing, but when they're speaking naturally, that's how some of them actually think. So don't go too hard on them. Alright, now this is an extension and there's quite a lot to cover here. You don't need to know this, but it is good to know these things. Let's start with tēnā koe. Let's look at the first example. Tēnā koe e Pita. Hello, Peter. Now, if I were to directly translate it, I would add you, but in this case, you don't need to, because it doesn't quite make sense in English. Now, Pita is a Māori name, and there is an e in front of it. The reason for it is if the Māori name has one long vowel or 2 short vowels, you need to add e in front of that name. So tēnā koe e Pita because Pita has 2 short vowels. Let's look at the next example. Tēnā koe wiremu. Wiremu is a Māori name, but it has 1, 2, 3 vowels. Therefore, you do not need to add e in front of it. So you'd say tēnā koe wiremu, not tēnā koe e wiremu. That's wrong. Next example, tēnā koe e te rangihau. If the Māori name has te at the beginning, you can put e in front of it. So this one's a little bit tricky. So if the Māori name has te at the beginning, you can put e in front of their name. For example, tēnā koe e te rangihau and tēnā koe te rangihau are both correct. Next example, tēnā koe Sarah. If the name is not Māori, you do not need to add e in front of it. Fairly easy. Tēnā koe e hoa. Hoa means friend. Now, as you can see, hoa is a common noun, not a proper noun. If it's a common noun, you add e in front of it. So when you're addressing someone using a common noun, you would add e in front of them. Last example. Tēnā koe e te rangatira. Rangatira is leader, and again, you're addressing someone using a common noun. Therefore, you need to add e in front of it. Ka pai? So there are quite a lot of rules around this. So if you don't get this first go, ka pai. But over time, I want you to learn it. Alright, next up, tēnā kōrua. Let's look at the first example. Tēnā kōrua e hoa mā. Hoa means friend. Mā, as you can see, is used in all the examples, means and others. Or and the rest. Okay. So when you're talking to two people and they're good friends of yours, you would say tēnā kōrua e hoa mā. Not tēnā kōrua ngā hoa. That's wrong. When they're more than one person and you're addressing them, add mā at the end. Let's look at the next example. Tēnā kōrua e tama mā. Tama means boy. So you're saying, hello you boys, but you're specifically talking about two boys. Next example. Tēnā kōrua e kōtiro mā. Kōtiro is girl. So you're saying, hello you girls, but again, exactly two girls. Tēnā kōrua e kaiako mā. Kaiako means teacher, so you're saying, hello you teachers. Lastly, tēnā kōrua e tauira mā. Tauira is student, so you're saying, hello you students. There's another name for tauira, which is ākonga. So ako means learn, ngā means lots, ākonga, students. So you can say, tēnā kōrua e ākonga mā. Mean the same thing. Lastly, tēnā koutou. This is basically the same as tēnā kōrua rules. First example, tēnā koutou e hoa mā. Hello you friends, 3 or more people. Tēnā koutou e tama mā. Hello you boys, again, 3 or more boys. Tēnā koutou e kōtiro mā. Hello you girls. Tēnā koutou e kaiako mā. Hello you teachers. And lastly, tēnā koutou e tauira mā. Hello you students. In the curriculum, they also use the word tamariki, which means children. So you can say, tēnā koutou e tamariki mā, if you wish. Ka pai? Now, the application of the classroom. The first thing you should really do is to replace the greetings with kia ora. I've done this at the beginning of the year, and soon they started to normalize saying kia ora to me and to each other. And once it's normalized, it becomes part of their lives and it's shown outside of the classroom. For example, when my students went to their specialist classes, their teachers noticed that my students use quite a bit of te reo in their classroom. Alright, so normalize it in your class first, then it'll permeate to other parts of their lives. Once they got the concept of kia ora, you can then introduce tēnā koe, kōrua, koutou. Probably tēnā koe first, because it's a formal greeting. Students should use tēnā koe to greet their teacher. So a tauira, a student would say, tēnā koe matua sensei. And then once they get it, they can be introduced to the kōrua and koutou. Ka pai? Right, I hope you learned something new today. Karawhiua, give it a go, and ka kite anō. See you next time.